All right, folks, welcome. We're back again. Market update number 3,276. I've lost track of where we're actually at, but we'll just make it up as we go along. This is an interesting little session. It's obviously something that has started to become quite very high attention in the media in relation to a buyer's market in Darwin, which is something we haven't experienced for the entire time that I have been in Darwin for 6 odd years. And I don't think that we've experienced for a long time before like that, to the tune of probably about 10 years. I've got a couple of newcomers to my team here because I want to get their experience out there in the marketplace, because rather than going back over some of the guys that have been in the market for a long period of time, it'll be interesting for these guys to be telling us exactly what they're experiencing out there when they're talking to new buyers to the market. Over on my far right and your left-hand side, I have David Gulpilil. Adam Gulliford.
That's my superhero
That's very
name.
close.
Yeah.
That's his superhero name, but he does dance like David Gulpilil. And not that there's anything wrong with that. David Gulpilil, great bloke, know him personally myself, which was very important to clarify that up. And we have Andrew Callanan. Now, Andrew came up to join us from down south, and probably what was that, around about 6 months ago?
Yeah, 6 months, yeah.
About 6 months ago. So he's relatively new to Darwin. Adam, on the other hand, has been here for a few years and been involved in sales in other areas and come across to join real estate. So probably with the focus being on buyers market at the moment, what we're talking about is that the supply of property far exceeds the demand of buyers. Tell us, out there on the weekend, in your home opens, is that what you're experiencing? Andrew, you can start. Just go, Andrew.
Yep. Yeah, we are. There's a lot more buyers out there. And the thing about that in the buyer's market is that they can afford to be picky, because, for example, in one of my suburbs currently, there's 19 properties exactly the same. 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom units up for sale.
Okay.
So they can be very picky.
So the type of property that is going to be attractive to a buyer in the marketplace right now, in your area where it's so competitive, is what?
It's the old standards. It's the first location. So the location's important, and also the state of the property. So in a buyer's market, a buyer will have the opportunity to go in and find a place that's in excellent condition, as opposed to one that in a seller's market, they go, well, I can buy that and do up the bathroom. In a buyer's market, they'll be able to have the pick of the crop, and the pick of the crop will be the one that is in the best condition.
Now we talk about you started off with location, something that you're experiencing as well. When we're talking about location, Adam, and talking about having all things going for you, what are the things that you need going for you with location wise?
Look, it has to be something like, if you're looking at something in town, it's got to be something that has that wow factor. It's got to have a beautiful view of the harbour. It's got to have excellent amenities. It has to have a nice big open area balcony. That's what people are really looking for in town at the moment. They want somewhere where they can come home, relax and entertain. So that's one of the big things that they're looking for at the moment.
Would it be fair to say, I mean, even if you have a property right at this point in time that is absolutely magnificently presented, if you've got the wrong location, it's a cross against you and buyers just aren't really looking at that?
To a degree, it depends on the buyer, to be honest. Yeah, one of the things that buyers need to consider in this market is it may not be the ideal market, the ideal location for today, but if you're looking 4 or 5 years down the track, if there's a new shopping centre being built nearby, or there's something else that down the track will make it an appealing property, then buyers do have a look at it, as long as it's got a future.
So buyer's market, obviously driven by location, driven by presentation, but very much driven by price as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So you've got to have that price point right. What changes a buyer's market?
All of a sudden, you've got several people fighting over the same property. People start saying, oh wow, they're starting to sell. I think, geez, maybe we should buy. And that's what sort of turns around and starts to get us going back.
So if you're a buyer out there, Adam, you're relatively new to this game, you're a buyer out there, what is going to prompt you to buy in this marketplace? What are you looking for specifically as the key time that you want to buy?
You want to buy when the market's at its lowest point.
Okay. Interesting concept, this. The reason I've led you down that path. The reason why I've led you down that path is, all buyers in a buyer's marketplace are looking to buy at the lowest ebb of the market.
Yeah.
interesting figures just released by RP Data, and a comment that I made a comment on it into the NT News. I'm not sure if it's actually run today or not. In relation to them saying that the median house price over the last over the last month had gone up by 0.2%, and over the last quarter had gone up by 1%. That's not what we're experiencing, is it?
No,
Not at all.
Not at all. Look, I'd say that would just be purely because some higher end houses have sold. Even though there's only a small number, that's enough just to skew the figures.
Okay, this was a comment that I made as well, that figures can very easily be manipulated. Well, not manipulated, but figures can very easily be skewed in Darwin because we have such a low number of properties selling. Even more so at the moment. There's not as many buyers out there, so properties aren't selling. One of the comments that I made was that I felt that asking prices had come off to the tune in some areas of 10 to 20%.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes,
That'd be right, wouldn't
certainly.
it? Okay. So prices have come off 10 to 20%. My comment was that I felt that asking prices were probably at their lowest point that we'd see in Darwin.
Yeah, definitely.
Because one of the things about being a buyer, trying to pick the lowest point in the marketplace, you only know when the lowest point has occurred after it's occurred,
That's
Exactly.
because you hear the prices have gone up.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
So there's no way that you can actually, apart from by a pure fluke, pick the lowest point.
Yeah.
So my advice was I felt that the asking prices were probably at the lowest ebb that we were seeing in Darwin, because all the people that needed to sell were on the market and had reduced their asking prices at the moment, because we haven't seen a great amount of properties selling. So they've already reduced their asking prices to a point which is probably the lowest they can afford to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that in mind, what would your advice out there be in the marketplace right now? And you are a buyer.
Yeah. Look, if
Adam is a buyer at the moment. He'd
Yeah.
buy if he saw exactly what he was after.
Exactly right.
So what's your advice to other buyers at the moment?
look, get out there, have a look what's there. Get your list, tick off your boxes, know what you want, go out there, inspect them, look at them, put offers in. Once you've got an offer in there, that's when the game starts.
Yeah. Don't be hesitant, is it? I mean, we've always heard with stocks and shares, buy low, sell high.
Yeah, and also
It'd be fair to say that now's low.
yes, and also the other thing in the share market they often say is leave something for the other guy.
Yeah.
So you can't actually guess, and it's really a matter of it's time in the market that's going to give you the capital growth, not your timing of your buy.
Mm.
You might buy today, and yes, prices might come down a little bit more.
Yeah.
But in the scheme of 5, 10, 15 years, a little bit more is going to pale into insignificance.
Mm.
One of the things I'm saying to buyers is, as Adam says, is don't forget to buy.
Mm.
If you find a place that's in the right location, it ticks all your boxes, buy. This is a good market.
I remember I actually entered a buyer's market when I first came into real estate. And I know I've said to you guys before, 26 years ago, I know that's astounding because I only look to be 26 years of age. However, one of the things that I got handed to me, it was back in the days of the fax and funny faxes and different things like that, but one of the things that we used to include in our appraisal pack was a picture of this old guy with a long beard, and he had the cane in his hand and he was dishevelled and all that. He just looked like an old man. He was probably 106. And it said up the top, this is the picture of the young man who waited for the price of real estate to come down. Now that was 26 years ago, so we knew back in those days that the price of real estate never stays down.
That's it, it's going to go up.
So if you've got a market that you're in, that you know the price is down, all your experts are sitting there telling you the price is down, and you're a buyer, I'll leave that to you to work out the message.
Yeah.
Andrew, thanks for popping by today. Adam, thanks for popping by.
Thanks for having me.
And we look forward to seeing you on the next market update. And I hope you have a good time buying a new home between now and then. Catch you later.